In a mental debate inside my head one time, I asked the question, where is the line on Mother's Day? Is it outside McDonald's or is it at the Olive Garden? Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast, 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. You might be wondering, what in the world does that question have to do with leadership? I'm about to tell you. See, the thing that we notice about the significant difference between McDonald's and Olive Garden, they're both national brand names. They both do billions of dollars in business. They both sell food that people love to eat. The primary difference between them is the amount of time that the average family spends in their dining establishment. See, McDonald's, most of the seats are really uncomfortable. The lights are bright, the floors are dark, or the floors are loud. Everything has brightness and color and visuals that cause you to move along. Just move along. Just get your stuff and get along. You don't want to sit in those chairs very long. There's not a whole lot of conversation to be had there. Now, some of the McDonald's, I've been in a couple, like the one in Colleyville, Texas, for an example. They actually have the same kind of big comfy chairs that some Starbucks have, where people are more inclined to sit around. Ironically, in that particular store, when they upgraded all the booths to leather and they upgraded and added these big comfy chairs with the little coffee table style tables between them, they also put up 4 big screen televisions. So you could come into McDonald's and enjoy your coffee and an Egg McMuffin while you stare at the morning news, because there's nothing that says relaxation while you eat like CNN or Fox News. But the Olive Garden, on the other hand, is generally laid out in their floor plans to create some sense of intimacy. Even the areas where they've got several seats in one zone, so to speak, there's not a whole lot of sitting in the place staring at each other, because the way the booths and the tables are crafted, pretty much you look at the person that you're sitting with. That's a good thing. You're inclined toward conversation. The chairs are comfortable. The meal takes a little longer to get through the process of cooking and coming to your table. Generally speaking, things are healthy. I mean, you could eat, obviously, a lot of pasta and a lot of sugar, and some people would say that's not healthy, but the environment for the food is healthy. The amount of time it takes to get through there, some people would say, I can't do that on a lunch hour. Man, I just don't have time. And now the question we have to ask ourselves as leaders is, given all the manipulation in our world political environment and our economic environment, on the one hand, we have people they would call subsistence farmers. A subsistence farmer means they just grow enough food to eat themselves, and then when they're hungry again, they grow more food, or they grow and they process, but it's a very short cycle of growing and processing. It's not ginormous barns and factories full of food. They just grow what they need to eat. Some would say that's close to poverty because, they don't have enough to last through the year if something happened to one of them. And others would say, no, they're just really close to nature, meaning they eat what's in season, they eat what's local, they eat what's on hand, they eat what's grown naturally. That's about as organic as it gets. Well, we have this political problem with food, and that is that in some places we have an overabundance of it. And you may not believe this, but do a little research, you'll find it to be true. There are places, corn as an example, where we actually grow more, produce more than can be consumed. Yes. Simultaneously, we have people on other sides of the planet who are starving literally to death. On the one hand, we have corn that's being grown under government subsidies to be used as a form of fuel in your gas tank. Think Kairos syrup for your fuel injectors. But at the same time that we're paying them to grow more corn than we can actually consume, they put it in boxcars or shipping containers and they send it across the ocean, and it's rotten before it gets there because corn, generally speaking, has a shelf life. So you got to can it. Well, now you got to use preservatives. And now that changes the actual nutritional value of it. And you'd be just as good putting it in your gas tank as to put it in your body. But see, we've got all these geopolitical moves that are going on with the economies of fuel. And like I discussed last time, the economies of avocado. Who knew you needed a drug cartel style militia to protect the avocado to get it out of Chile? See, we have a problem with food. We have a relationship to food. And as leaders, sometimes we exacerbate that. We want people to meet those deadlines. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I remember being in a school district not too long ago, and in that school district, the lunch hour is 26 minutes. And I don't know about you, but most teenagers do a good job of getting from one classroom to the next in 26 minutes. To get from their classroom to their locker to get their food, or to get to the lunch line and get through the line and get to a seat and find who they want to talk to and eat, they're going to be eating so fast they're about ready to throw up by the time they're done chewing anyway. As leaders, we should be a little more intentional about the way we craft our expectations for the people on our team. Does our culture, whether it's the schoolroom or the lunchroom at work, does our culture allow people time to eat and digest their food properly? There's a new book by Dr. Caroline Leaf called Eat and Think Yourself Smart. And in it, she talks about the environment in which you consume your food and how that environment and the pace and what's going on around you impacts the hormones in your body more than your diet. Let that one sink in for a minute. In it, she also talks about the mad American diet that's overloaded with sugar, but how sometimes it's more about what you're thinking and how you're feeling while you eat than it is what you eat. That's pretty significant. Again, as leaders, we should be more intentional about that. I'm going to encourage you to pick up that book. No, I don't get any affiliate funds for it. I have no idea. She probably doesn't even know that I recommend her books, but I do recommend Dr. Caroline Leaf. Anything you get by her, I stand behind it. It's quality stuff. If you buy it and you don't like it, call me. I'll buy it back from you because I'll go give it to somebody else. But Think and Eat Yourself Smart is a book that could change the way you look at global politics around food and your own food on your table for dinner. That's a leadership principle. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.